70% of cars on US roads right now are driving with some kind of ECU glitch, hesitation, rough idle, poor gas mileage. Even new cars aren't safe. I've reset ECUs on 2024 models with ridiculous error counts. Is your car acting up? Try this ECU reset hack. Watch until the end for a bonus tip that helps your car pass inspection immediately after a reset. Let's go. Method 1. Battery disconnect. Most drivers don't know this. A simple battery pull can wipe years of bad habits your ECU has learned. According to AAA, battery issues are the #1 cause of roadside calls in America, and many resets start right there. This is one of the simplest resets. Most folks think it's just take the cable off and slap it back. Nope. Done sloppy, you can fry fuses, set off airbags, or lock out your radio. First things first, make sure the car's off, keys out, and you're parked on flat ground. Pop that hood. Here's how to reset the ECU using a battery disconnect, step by step. Step 1, locate your battery terminals. Negative has a minus sign, usually black. Positive has a plus, usually red. Step 2, loosen the negative cable first. That's key. Negative comes off before positive. That way, if your wrench slips and touches metal, nothing arcs. Step 3, then pull the positive. Set both cables aside so they don't touch the posts again. I like to wrap mine in a rag. Step 4, here's the detail most people skip. Once both cables are off, press your brake pedal down for 15 to 20 seconds. That bleeds off any leftover juice hiding in the ECU capacitors. Without that step, your car can cling to memory even without a battery. Step 5. Now wait, not 2 minutes. Give it at least 20 to 30 minutes. Some pros even leave it an hour. That's what gives the ECU a full reset instead of a hiccup. Step 6. When reconnecting, go in reverse order. Positive first, then negative. Make sure the clamps are snug. Loose terminals cause half the mystery problems I see in the shop. What happens next? Your clock and radio presets may be gone, but under the hood, the ECU just dumped its fuel trims, idle settings, and stored short-term data. Basically, the car's brain is back to square one. Pitfalls? Some cars need a radio code. Check before you disconnect. Some newer models may trigger immobilizer or alarm resets. Have your owner's manual handy. If your battery clamps are crusty with corrosion, clean them with a wire brush before reconnecting. I can't tell you how many mystery check engine lights I've solved by just doing this right. Folks come in ready to spend hundreds and walk out smiling after a careful reset. Now, here's the thing. A dead simple reset like this is fine, but sometimes you want a smarter way. One that doesn't leave you fumbling with presets or risking anti-theft lockouts. That's next. Method 2. Use OBD2 tool. You know what blows my mind? The government made OBD2 ports mandatory back in 1996, and yet half the car owners I meet don't even know that little port under their dash can save them thousands. That port is your car's diary. Every cough, every stumble, every misfire, it's written in there as a code. Now here's the beauty. Instead of yanking the battery and losing your presets, you can plug in a simple scanner and clear the ECU the proper way. Let's walk through it. Step 1, grab yourself an OBD2 scanner. Doesn't matter if it's a $30 pocket tool or a pro-grade tablet. The steps are the same. Step 2, slide into the driver's seat, look just under the steering wheel, sometimes a little to the left or right. You'll see a trapezoid-shaped plug. That's your OBD port. Plug the tool in there. The tool powers right up from the car. Step 3, turn the key to on. Not start, just on. You'll see your dash light up. The scanner wakes up and starts talking to the ECU. Step 4, before you clear anything, Always read the codes first. Write them down, snap a picture, whatever works, because those codes tell you what the car has been struggling with. Misfire, O2 sensor, transmission slip? Don't just wipe them and pretend it never happened. That's like clearing your smoke alarm while the kitchen's still on fire. Step 5, when you're ready, navigate the tool to erase codes or clear DTCs. Press confirm. In a couple seconds, that check engine light goes dark. The ECU memory resets. Trims, pending faults, freeze frame data, all gone. But here's the kicker. If the problem is still there, that light will come right back. Might be after one start, might be after a full drive cycle. That's why I always tell folks, read before you erase. Let me give you the breakdown of what you'll see on screen. Stored codes. Those are the solid faults. Pending codes. Those are things the ECU noticed once but wants to see again before it nails it down. Permanent codes. Those stay until the ECU verifies the fix with a proper drive cycle. And if you've got freeze frame data, that's like a snapshot of what the engine was doing when the fault hit. RPM, coolant temp, load, gold for diagnosis. And don't be afraid to look them up. Sites like RepairPal or even your manufacturer's service pages will give you code definitions. Mechanics Worth Their Salt check TSBs, technical service bulletins, to see if it's a known issue. Once you've cleared it, turn the key off, unplug the tool, then restart the engine. Sometimes you'll notice the idle hunts a bit. That's the ECU relearning. Perfectly normal. There are a couple of pitfalls here. 1. Never clear codes just to pass emissions. The monitors reset too, and the smog station will see not ready. 2. Cheap tools sometimes can't clear those manufacturer-specific codes. If your ABS or airbag light is still glowing, you'll need a higher-level scanner. And here's the good part. I've already made a full video showing you exactly how to turn off an airbag light, with or without a scanner. Just click the link up here and check it out. I'll tell you, in my shop, this is my go-to reset. Fast, safe, no lost radio presets, no alarm freakouts. And every time, I tip my hat to the engineers who made it possible for us to peek inside the car's brain with one simple plug. But let me warn you, not every reset needs a fancy tool. Sometimes all it takes is pulling the right little piece of plastic from under the hood. And that's where most folks get nervous, because one slip in there and you're in deeper waters. Method 3, pull the ECU-related fuse. Have you ever noticed that fuse box under the hood that looks like a little city of secrets? Each one of those fuses is guarding a part of your car's brain. And here's the kicker. You don't always need to kill the whole battery to reset the ECU. You can pull the right fuse, cut the memory to the engine computer, and leave the rest of the car untouched. All right, here's how we do it. Step 1, pop the hood, find the fuse box. Usually, it's a black plastic box with clips. Some cars have a second one inside the cabin, down by the driver's kick panel. Open the lid, and you'll see a map printed right inside. That map is gold. Look for ECU, ECM, PCM, or sometimes it just says EFI or INJ. That's your guy. Step 2, before you grab, stop. Safety first. Keys out of the ignition, and no bare hands on the metal parts. Grab a plastic fuse puller. Most cars come with one tucked in the fuse box. Needle nose pliers wrapped in tapework too. But be gentle. Step 3, pinch the fuse, rock it side to side, and pull it straight out. Don't yank or twist hard. Those little blades bend easy. Set it aside. But here's a trick from the old school. Stick it in backwards in the empty slot just so you don't forget where it came from. I've seen guys lose track and blow half a day figuring out why their wipers don't work. Step 4, wait a few minutes. I usually give it 10. That drains the memory in that circuit. Some mechanics press the brake pedal again during this step just to bleed any leftover charge hiding in the system. Doesn't hurt. Step 5. When time's up, slide that fuse back in snug. Make sure it clicks in fully. Loose fuses are a nightmare. You'll get ghost faults, random stalls, you name it. Close up the lid, climb back in, and turn the key. What you'll notice? The ECU is back to default. Idle may run a little rough for the first start. Transmission shifts might feel sharp or lazy until it relearns. That's normal. Take it on a smooth drive, and within a few miles, it settles. Here are the pitfalls. Pull the wrong fuse, and you might cut power to airbags or ABS. Not good. Always double check that map. And some modern cars have multiple ECU fuses. You may need to pull more than one. If you're unsure, check the service manual or look up your specific model online. I've used this method plenty when I didn't want to wipe radio presets or risk an immobilizer lockout. And let me tell you, nothing feels better than popping one fuse, watching a stubborn check engine light vanish, and the customer thinking you just performed magic. But here's the thing, yanking a fuse is still cutting power. What if you could reset the ECU without even touching the fuse box or the battery? Sounds crazy, right? Well, the next trick shows you exactly how, and it doesn't need a single tool. Method 4, ignition or key cycle reset. You know what most people don't realize? Sometimes your car will reset itself if you just know the right way to turn the key. No tools, no pulling fuses, no battery cables hanging loose, just your hands and your ignition. Sounds too simple, but trust me, it works on plenty of cars. Here's how. Step 1, slide into the driver's seat, make sure everything's off. Radio, lights, heater. Insert the key and turn it to the on position. That's the click before start. Your dash lights come on, the fuel pump hums, but the engine doesn't crank. Leave it there for about 10 seconds. That's enough time for the ECU to power up and log the state. Step 2, turn the key back to off and wait a few seconds. Then do it again. On, off, on, off. Most routines are 3 to 5 cycles. What you're doing is forcing the ECU through its wake up and shut down process. That drains certain volatile memories and lets the system reinitialize. I've seen this trick calm down stubborn idle issues, clear false misfire counters, and even help after a dead battery install. The best part? You don't lose radio presets or clock settings, since you're not cutting power to the whole car. But here's the warning. Not every vehicle responds. Some manufacturers design specific sequences like on for 10 seconds, off for 10, repeat 3 times. Others tie it to pressing the gas pedal during the cycle. Always check your manual or forums for your make and model. I'll be honest, I love this method for quick resets in the lot. No tools, no mess, no waiting, and when it works, it feels like you've outsmarted the car. But let's just say, some cars demand more than key turning. They've got secret pedal dances built into their DNA, and that's where things start to get real interesting. Method 5, ignition or pedal on-off relearn sequences. Many manufacturers hide special pedal dance sequences in their cars. No scanner, no tools, just a timed mix of ignition turns and pedal presses. And when you do it right, the ECU relearns idle, throttle position, or even clears certain codes. It's like unlocking a cheat code in a video game, except it's real. Now, let me walk you through a couple of examples. Take Nissan, for instance. Their idle air volume relearn is famous. You sit in the driver's seat, everything off, then turn the key to on and wait 3 seconds. Then fully press and release the gas pedal 5 times within 5 seconds. Wait 7 seconds, then press and hold the pedal down. The check engine light starts flashing. That's the ECU listening. Release the pedal, start the car, and let it idle. If you did the timing right, the ECU resets its idle control. Miss the timing, and nothing happens. That's why I tell folks, be patient, repeat until you nail it. Another one, Toyota throttle reset. Turn the key to on, press the accelerator all the way down, hold it for 30 seconds, then release. Start the engine, and the ECU relearns throttle position. I've used this after cleaning throttle bodies. Without it, the idle bounces all over the place. Even GM has pedal tricks. Some models let you reset the oil life monitor or relearn throttle simply by key cycles and pedal presses. Again, it's all in the sequence. The magic of these routines is that they're manufacturer specific. There's no one-size-fits-all. That's why I always stress, check your service manual or a trusted source. Don't just copy random internet posts. Some are right, some are nonsense. The real sequences come straight from manufacturer bulletins or repair manuals. What I love is that you can fix what feels like a major drivability issue with nothing but your feet and a key. Customers watch me do it, and they think I've got magic boots. Truth is, I've just spent decades learning these hidden moves. But let me be straight, not every car has these hacks. And when they don't, or when the ECU still acts stubborn, you've got to go a step further. That's when we're talking about idle relearn and the critical drive cycles that follow. And that's a whole different game. Method 6, throttle body or idle relearn and post-reset drive cycle. Here's something most people don't realize. Resetting the ECU is only half the battle. The real work comes after, when the car has to relearn how to breathe and idle. Modern engines are picky. Clean the throttle body, swap a battery, pull a fuse. Suddenly the idle hunts, surges, or even stalls. That's because the ECU just lost its memory of how much air to let in at idle. And that's where throttle body and idle relearn come in. Now, here's how I do it. Step 1, make sure the throttle plate itself is clean. If it's gummed up with carbon, the ECU's relearn won't hold. A little throttle cleaner and a rag, never a screwdriver, gets that plate moving free. Step 2, fire up the car and let it idle with no load. No AC, no lights, no blower fan, just the engine by itself. Let it warm up fully, coolant temperature right at operating range, usually 10 to 15 minutes. During this time, the ECU adjusts idle air control to find its sweet spot. You'll hear the RPM hunt a bit, maybe even dip low, then settle. That's normal. Step 3, once idle's steady, it's time for the drive cycle. And this is where most folks get it wrong. You can't just gun it around the block. The ECU needs a careful mix of speeds and loads to reset its monitors. Here's the routine. Start with gentle city driving, 25 to 35 miles per hour, steady throttle for a few minutes. Then a stretch at 45 to 55 miles per hour, holding speed without heavy acceleration. Finally, some highway time at 60 miles per hour or so, with light acceleration and a few gentle decels. The whole thing takes about 15 to 20 minutes. During this, the ECU relearns fuel trims, throttle position, transmission shift points, and idle. Skip it, and you'll be back with stalling or rough running. One pitfall: don't run the AC or load up electronics during this process. That messes with the relearn, and if you stop halfway, the ECU may not set all readiness monitors, which can cause trouble at emissions testing. Now, before you ever get that far, there's another trick that saves a lot of headaches: resetting the throttle position sensor. I've already made a full video walking through that process step by step. Click the link up here and check it out. It goes hand in hand with what we're doing here. Method 7, dealer or manufacturer reflash or advanced scan tool reset. Sometimes the home tricks just won't cut it. That's when you're looking at a professional reflash or scan tool reset. Dealers and high-end shops have factory-grade software that talks directly to your car's brain. They can wipe corrupted data, install updated firmware, or completely reset the ECU to factory specs. Why does this matter? Well, manufacturers release updates over time to fix bugs, improve fuel mapping, or even address recall issues. A reflash makes sure your car isn't stuck running on outdated code. Advanced scan tools also allow adaptation resets. Things like transmission shift learning, throttle calibration, or fuel trim memory. You can't do that with a battery pull. Yes, it costs more than DIY methods, but if you're chasing stubborn codes, drivability issues, or just want your car up to date, this is the cleanest, most reliable reset there is. All right, before we wrap this up, let me give you a bonus tip that might just save you from a nightmare. Anytime you reset your ECU, whether you pull the battery, yank a fuse, or even do a pedal sequence, you're also wiping out all the readiness monitors. These are the self-tests your car runs on emission systems. Why does that matter? Because if you head straight to an inspection station after a reset, you'll fail automatically. Doesn't matter if your car is perfectly fine, the system will show not ready. So, after any ECU reset, you need to complete a proper drive cycle. That means driving the car under different conditions. Highway speeds, city stop and go, idle with the AC on, so the ECU can relearn and mark those monitors as ready again. Sometimes it takes 50 miles, sometimes 100. I've seen people reset a check engine light thinking they were clever before an inspection, only to fail because the monitors weren't set. Don't fall into that trap. Always give your car enough driving time before heading in for a test. So there you go. 7 real ECU reset hacks every driver should know. But don't stop here. After a reset, learn the simple trick that makes your car's AC blow twice as cold. Click the next video.